Tonight, I'm proud to confirm that parents can rest easy knowing that our government has worked tirelessly to ensure their children will be in the class tomorrow morning. I'm pleased to confirm that agreement has been reached between the Crown, our government, CUPE, and the school board trustee associations that keep kids in class.
A sigh of relief across Ontario tonight as the province announces it has reached a deal with CUPE just hours before a strike deadline. Good evening. Some 55,000 education workers in the province will not be heading to the picket lines tomorrow. That means schools will be open as usual. Our Angelina King is live at the Sheriston Centre where the negotiations were taking place. Angelina, the deal comes at the end of a tense weekend.
Yeah, no kidding. Talk about a weekend of uncertainty for parents, just as they were wondering, do I make a lunch tomorrow? Who's taking the kids to school? Is there school tomorrow? CUPE and the province reached a tentative deal. So education workers will not be striking and students will be going to class tomorrow. When asked if the government caved, CUPE said that they met us in order to get a deal done. Nobody was declared a winner in something like this, but CUPE did seem pretty happy. I even heard some congratulations to some of the members. So in this deal, CUPE says that between 1,300 and 1,500 jobs across the province will be restored. There's a new $20 million investment, as well as a modest wage increase. And the union says that the workers affected are among the lowest paid in the education system. We're talking about support workers, so clerical staff, custodians, as well as educational assistants. CUPE says the breakthrough for the union happened when the sick leave issue was taken off of the table. We know that was a sticking point for the government. It had concerns about the amount of sick days that these workers were taking, but obviously that was cleared up in some sense tonight. Here's a little bit more from CUPE and Education Minister Stephen Lecce.
We were able to show that there has been losses, and we were able to get the government to commit to investing more to return those jobs back to our schools. I would say, and I think my team would agree, there's a couple of times we probably thought we've reached the end game. I think we're all pretty tired, and you know, it's an emotional time when you're sitting there doing that, but it really spoke to the grit and determination and also the genuine need that we knew was out there for our students.
We have sometimes competing, but often aligned interests. And I think through this deal, what we demonstrated is if you put students first, like this is not, you know, just some platitude. It really is manifestly demonstrated when we sit down and look at what are the issues that divide us, quote unquote, and remind ourselves who we serve. 2 million young people in Ontario that ought to be learning in a positive, modern, safe environment. When we do that, I think sobriety sets in. We get back to the table as we demonstrated this week, and with the parties in good faith get a deal.
So not too many details about this deal are being released right now because it still needs to be ratified. The union says a vote on that will happen before the end of the month. So again, if you're a parent, your kids will be going to school tomorrow. There is no strike. A tentative deal was reached tonight just a few hours ago. Maribel?
The main thing all those parents wanted to hear tonight. Thanks, Angelina. And we are also hearing from Premier Doug Ford tonight. He released a statement saying, throughout this process, our goal has been to establish agreements that respect taxpayers, students, and families, while also recognizing the important contributions of our frontline education workers. It goes on to say our government worked tirelessly at the bargaining table to achieve this goal. And as a result, 2 million students will remain in the classroom where they belong. And we will check in with Angelina later in the show about what's next now that a strike's been averted. But if you want more information on the tentative deal reached tonight, visit our website, cbc.ca/Toronto. To the federal election campaign now, Alberta Premier Jason Kenney hit the hustings in the GTA today in support of Andrew Scheer. But Kenny wasn't the only one who made an appearance at a Conservative event in the riding of Brampton Centre. Liberal candidate Navdeep Bains also showed up to campaign for Justin Trudeau. The CBC's Kirthana Sasitharan has the details.
Navdeep Bains says he's just highlighting the issues when he made himself available outside of Brampton Centre candidate Pawanjit Gosel's office this afternoon. The same location Alberta Premier Jason Kenney was expected to arrive. He's been on the campaign trail this weekend in Ontario in support of Andrew Scheer. Bains didn't hold back when criticizing Kenney's appearances across the province.
Andrew Scheer is struggling in Ontario. He's not connecting with the residents here. So he's asked his good friend, Jason Kenney, to pinch hit for him. So he has to ask himself why he can't connect with residents and why he needs the Premier of Alberta to campaign for him right here in Ontario.
When asked why he was critiquing Kenney outside of a Conservative candidate's office, Bains says it's just part of the campaign.
We're just highlighting the fact that Conservatives are cut from the same cloth. And I can tell you right now, they're talking about Jason Kenney and they're talking about Andrew Scheer, but where's Doug Ford?
Conservative supporters say they weren't happy to see Bains make an appearance. Jaswinder Singh says if the Liberals want to explain themselves, they shouldn't be doing so by interrupting a Conservative event.
And this is not the right way for that senior minister to do these things, to interrupt the other campaigns when the senior minister is coming here.
Singh says Jason Kenney coming to Ontario will make a difference in this election.
He has done so much for the community in the past, and he is doing the very good for community right now. And I'm thinking if he comes here, community will recognize him and respect him a lot of ways, and they will support him.
Then why is Doug Ford not here?
That I can't say.
Jason Kenney says premiers from other provinces are taking different approaches during this campaign.
Doug Ford told me over 6 months ago that he would not be involved in the federal campaign. I told Albertans that I would be. That's why I'm here.
When asked about Bains' appearance across the street from the campaign office, Kenney says it means the Liberals are feeling the heat.
I am thrilled. If they're setting out senior cabinet ministers to campaign events like this, it's because they know they're losing this election. I think that's a great confirmation that the winds of change are blowing here in Peel Region and in Brampton.
As for Doug Ford, he attended the firefighters' memorial ceremony today, but was asked why he wasn't campaigning for Andrew Scheer.
And I'm focused on governing Ontario.
Jason Kenney is expected to return to Alberta tonight. Kirthana Sasitharan, CBC News, Toronto.
The RCMP is closely watching hateful online chatter about federal leaders as they campaign. CBC News has learned the force is compiling daily reports about threatening posts, trying to make sure they don't end in real-world violence. Government sources close to the file say there's been an increase in online posts condoning violence. One of the main areas of concern is the increasing number of anti-immigration posts. The sources say the RCMP's Protective Intelligence Unit combs through online chatter and flags anything troubling to the leaders' security teams. Liberal leader Justin Trudeau and the NDP's Jagmeet Singh were out campaigning today, while with the English language debate set for tomorrow night. The other leaders have been preparing. This will be the first time all six will square off on the same stage. Katie Simpson takes us through the strategies.
In the Canadian Museum of History, the stage is being set for a breakthrough. This will likely be the most significant opportunity for party leaders to make a direct connection with Canadians, a crucial moment in this neck-and-neck race.
We are a government that has put the first real plan to fight climate change in Canada's history in place, and our primary opponent, Andrew Scheer, has promised that the first thing he would do is tear up that climate plan.
For Justin Trudeau, it's all about climate contrast. The Liberal leader drove home that message today, tree planting with his sons. He will argue his plan is better than Conservative leader Andrew Scheer's in an effort to motivate progressives into showing up on Election Day. Scheer spent his day preparing with his inner circle after a difficult French debate last week where the other leaders ganged up on him.
Finally getting a chance to meet Justin Trudeau.
He sees this as an opportunity for Canadians to get to know him, but he could also face attacks from his former Conservative colleague and now leader of the People's Party of Canada, Maxime Bernier. The NDP leader also needs to raise his profile.
A lot of people feel like they're not being heard, and that their struggles aren't being seen, and I want to make sure that they know that I see them.
Jagmeet Singh has gained some positive momentum recently after exceeding expectations in that same French language debate. But his party sits a distant third, and he needs to win back voters disappointed by Trudeau. Green leader Elizabeth May, the Bloc Québécois Yves-François Blanchet, and Bernier are under less pressure since there's less chance they'll become prime minister, meaning they have more freedom to take chances. There hasn't yet been an issue that's galvanized voters. And with advanced polls opening this week, the leaders are running out of time to get Canadians on side. Katie Simpson, CBC News, Gatineau, Quebec.
And you can watch the federal party leaders face off in that English language debate tomorrow from 7 to 9 p.m. Watch on CBC TV, CBC News Network, CBC Gem, or the CBC News app. We will have a special edition of The National following the debate from 9 to 11 p.m. live from Ottawa with highlights and analysis, plus a voter panel. For more details, visit cbcnews.ca/debate. Okay, the big news, school is back on tomorrow, Marta. So what are we looking at for dressing the kids for school tomorrow?
Honestly, it's going to be a nice day, and I do have more in store a little bit later in the show about the next week, but it looks like the system is moved out. This is just a look at the last 3 hours. So again, the system moved out, a high pressure area pushing in. Today was such a beautiful day. It was about 20 degrees in Toronto, so above seasonal, which is about 16. Overnight tonight, 12 degrees, but check it out. In the afternoon, 18 degrees, so just slightly above seasonal again, and those clouds there, but it's going to be a nice day. Again, that front moving through, this trough slicing down, bringing in some of those showers into northeastern Ontario, but the southern part of Ontario, including the GTA, is going to be clear for Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday, but I'll tell you a little bit later. Monday through the board across Ontario, Toronto 18, extreme southwestern Ontario 20 degrees in Windsor, and just a closer look at the areas across the GTA, Guelph 17, Toronto 18, Hamilton 18, Newmarket 18. So a nice look at those temperatures, and like I said, there will be some beautiful weather for the Great Lakes as this high pressure brings in clear and seasonal temperatures.
All right, we'll see you in a bit. Thanks, Marta. Hundreds gathered to honor fallen firefighters today at a memorial ceremony outside Queen's Park. The service remembers those who've lost their lives while on duty. Today, officials added 46 more names to the memorial of Ontario firefighters who made the ultimate sacrifice to protect others. Firefighters from across the province attended the commemoration. The Premier and Lieutenant Governor also spoke at the event.
Today, we honor the everyday heroes amongst us. In moments of crisis, when everyone is running away from danger, these brave men and women ran towards it.
While many of us are committed to keeping firefighters in our thoughts every day, on this special day of commemoration, we stand here together, united in honoring their service. And so, may we say a very simple thank you.
The event is held by the Ontario Firefighters Memorial Foundation. The names of more than 800 firefighters from around the province are now on the monument.
Schools in the province of Ontario will be open right across Ontario, north, south, east, and west, English and French. That is certainly my expectation.
School as usual tomorrow. The Ontario government and CUPE have reached a deal. But with several other education unions in their own talks with the province, could a different strike be on the horizon? We'll have more on that later in the show. Joe Biden is fighting back against Donald Trump's efforts to have Ukraine investigate him.
Now, fearful about his re-election, he's becoming more unhinged.
A new ad from the Biden campaign has emerged, and so has a second whistleblower, reportedly with first-hand evidence that Trump tried to get foreign help to win the 2020 election. Trump spent his weekend tweeting angrily about his political opponents like Democrat Adam Schiff, leader of the impeachment inquiry, and Republican Senator Mitt Romney, who has been critical of Trump. Testimony will resume this week at the impeachment inquiry. And more violence erupted in Hong Kong today as police and protesters clashed over a new flashpoint. For the second day, protesters defied a new ban on wearing face masks. That defiance led to arrests. And amid the tear gas, pepper spray, bricks, and Molotov cocktails, the protesters made a rare move on troops from the mainland, shining lasers on their barracks. They were met with a sign on their roof warning they could be prosecuted. Well, transit in the nation's capital hit another gear today. Ottawa's long-serving buses are off the road to make way for light rail trains.
I don't really like it, but I have no choice.
I don't like the new system at all. I go on the bus to go to my doctor's office, and I have to take 2 buses and the train, and before I used to take 1 bus, so I'm not impressed.
I think it's a good step forward. I can't wait until it makes it out to my neck of the woods, but that's going to be about 10 years down the road. But for now, it's been effective for me.
The city launched its LRT 3 weeks ago, but it's just today that their bus routes come to a stop, going from around 150 buses circulating their downtown every hour to less than 8. The city is planning to further expand the LRT outside the downtown into the suburbs. It's spawning season for salmon, which makes for a unique experience for many to see the active swimmers migrate upstream. Take a look at the 10th annual Salmon Festival at Highland Creek.
Well, one thing that people probably don't know is salmon is one of those unique species that can thrive in salt water in the ocean and also in freshwater habitats in the lakes, Great Lakes, and our rivers and creeks. This time of the year across Ontario, salmon are moving up from the lake to spawn in our rivers and creeks. The idea is to bring people out and educate them. Importantly, people are going to learn about salmon habitat, the whole life cycle of salmon, and the importance of keeping our water clean and our rivers naturalized for wildlife to come and habitat in our natural systems.
We're just here to enjoy the nature, see some salmon.
It was cool.
You would never think, being in Toronto that you'd be able to see this kind of thing, but I think it also just speaks to the landscape of the city, that you get a little bit of the urban jungle, but at the same time, you can come out into the suburbs and be able to experience something like this. It's really amazing, and it's so good to be able to share it with family.
We have urbanized in the GTA. Our cities are growing. We have a lot of people living, and for agencies and government alone, they cannot protect alone. We need our communities, we need local residents to help protect our habitat and rivers and green spaces, so our generation now and our future generation can come and enjoy these natural spaces, and we can have wildlife survive in these natural spaces and thrive.
And some great weather to watch those salmon swim, Marta. It sounds like that's going to carry on through this week.
Yeah, I mean, there's a high pressure area pushing in, and it's going to clear out those clouds, and there's no rain in the forecast. But starting off Monday morning at 13 degrees, so a crisp start to the day, heating up to 18 degrees. Again, just a slight cloud cover for your Monday afternoon in Toronto. Again, let's look at that high pressure area. It's bringing in those clear skies and seasonal temperatures all week. So there's not going to be much fluctuation in temperature. You're not going to have a 30-degree day. You're going to pretty much stay around seasonal, which is about 16 for this time time of year for Toronto. Take a look at the future rainfall. It's basically staying stateside, so not really coming in. That high pressure area really protecting southern Ontario, nothing really affecting it in terms of rain, just slight rainfall in through northeastern Ontario for Monday. Toronto 18, London 18, Windsor 20, and when we take a closer look at the GTA for Monday, you can see areas around Toronto, Guelph 17, Newmarket 18, Hamilton 18, but again, clear skies for the GTA in through Tuesday. Let's look at the long range forecast in terms of precipitation. Like I said, that high pressure area is just situated over Ontario, and it's really protecting us from, well, everything. I guess it's going to be clear skies, and it's going to be nice for the rest of the week. In terms of the Thanksgiving forecast, well, if you look, it's going to be seasonal, 18, 17, 16, 16, 16, and then by Saturday, you might see that chance of showers to start the long weekend, but throughout it's going to be really nice conditions and definitely really nice clear skies, just that chance on Saturday. And a quick look at the 3-day forecast for areas around Toronto, Hamilton, Oshawa, and Barrie. You can see clear skies ahead.
Good looking forecast. Thanks, Marta.
No problem.
CBC Late Night News will be right back. Back to our top story tonight. Strike averted and school is on tomorrow after the province and the union representing 55,000 education workers reached a tentative deal late tonight. Our Angelina King has been following this story for us and joins us live again from the Sheraton Centre. So, Angelina, one deal done, but more negotiations for the province and other education unions.
Yeah, exactly. This is just the beginning for the province, and we actually asked CUPE and the education minister about that. I'll get to that in just a second. I first just want to give you and the viewers just a quick recap of what went on tonight. So after resumed talks, 2.5 days of resumed negotiations. A deal was reached at about 9 o'clock this evening. So in that deal, CUPE says that it got 1,300 to 1,500 jobs restored. It got a moderate wage increase. It also got the sick leave policy to remain as is and a $20 million investment. So this involves education workers, people like clerical staff, custodians, and educational assistants. So they won't be striking tomorrow, but and these talks did come to an end. But more of this could be coming. This is just the beginning. There's still a number of unions in contract negotiations with the province. One union joined people outside of a rally outside of the Sheraton today to show their support for CUPE. The president of OPSU says that whatever happened in these contract negotiations would profoundly impact their talks, which are slated for next month. And we did ask CUPE and the education minister how tonight's outcome will impact future talks. Here's what they had to say.
My message in short to all the parties is by making the students the very center of what we are discussing, we can achieve material successes that both keep them in class, provide that stability that we all want, while concurrently advancing our shared priorities.
We've set some groundwork for them to have some really good conversations and get what they need for their members. The key is that public. That public is supporting the education system. They have seen what this government has done. They have seen what previous governments have done.
So the tentative deal still needs to be ratified, and CUPE says that vote will happen before the end of the month. Maribel, I'll send it back to you.
You've been on this for us all weekend. Angelina, thanks for all of this. And that's our show for you tonight. Thank you for watching. Have a great night, everyone.